I'd already decided it was going to be my last night in Max's village. I was sorry to be leaving, but I was restless again.
Beware! The day grows dark, and demons stalk the gap by night.
Harsh old woman, stop your superstitious nonsense. Besides, this is the best time of day for fishing, eh, Milo?
Yes, Dad. Look, Foster! I use these broken sensors to make a fish alarm. It detects the fish before it bites.
Nice work, Milo.
Milo was just like me as a boy, and the tech skills I'd taught him would help the village after I left.
Do you really have to go, Foster? How can we ever pay you back for all you've done?
It's been my pleasure, Max. One of Anita's pies will be payment enough.
I owed the Gap folks so much. My first tribe fostered me when I was orphaned all those years ago. They taught me how to recycle tech scavenged from city dumps. Soon, I even built myself a playmate.
I'm your friend. Call me Joey.
Joey and I were always together. As I grew, I upgraded him. He became the best friend I ever had. But then...
Foster! Foster, wake up! The sensors detect a fish. It's a big one.
What the?
It was no fish.
Max, keep back! Milo!
Dad! What are they?
Max! Drop him, you...
Dad! Foster! Help me! Help me!
Milo had gone. The machine, too. But its riders had left something behind.
Max? Milo? What's happened, Foster? Where's my son? Max? Max? Oh, no! I told them there were demons stalking the dark.
The stalker that attacked us was a machine, not a demon.
Please, Foster, I don't understand. What happened?
I told Anita everything I could, though I knew very little. Max was barely conscious. I could only hope that with Anita's loving care, he would recover. As for me, I had to follow Milo and his captors immediately.
I'll bring Milo home, Anita. I promise.
Thank you, Foster. I know you will.
Dawn was breaking as I left the village. The featureless wastes of the Gap stretched away from me. Night followed day, then day dawned once more. Time lost meaning as the tracks beckoned me ever forward. Determination had long replaced sadness. Whatever it took, I would find Milo. The tracks were barely visible now, blurred by the wind. But I was sure I'd reach their destination soon. Then I saw the thing I feared the most approaching. Sandstorm. I battled forward, but now could only guess that my direction was correct. I decided to save my energy and sank into an exhausted sleep. Maybe the old woman was right. Maybe demons did stalk the Gap. For as it shrieked and thundered around me, the storm brought back my nightmare once more. Union City security was attacking. As my tribe screamed in terror, I salvaged Joey's motherboard. Taken captive, I couldn't save my village. But I survived when the security copter crashed, entering Union City. On the run, I soon got Joey working. Upgraded yet again, He helped me overthrow the evil that ran the city. As I left, I told him to make the citizens happy. Union City was no place for me. I wanted to be where I could do most good, helping the scattered people of the Gap. I woke to find the storm had passed. But not without finishing its cruel work. The tracks were gone. I was lost, and so, I feared, was Milo. Then, I heard them. Gang birds, scavengers, and in this wasteland, that meant only one thing: people. Despair turned to hope. I was sure that if I could find where the stalker had gone, I would find Milo. Then, in the distance, I saw a girl crouching over a body.
Welcome to this commentary feature. My name is Charles Cecil and I am the game director. Please interact with the comic book pages that you'll find throughout the game to hear members of our team talk about the approach to design, art, audio, and general. Obviously, these commentaries contain spoilers, so I recommend that you only enable this feature once you've completed the game and are playing through again and want to get an insight into its making. Thank you for playing Beyond the Steel Sky, and thank you for taking an interest in this commentary.
Just as we had with the original game, we wanted to have a comic book introduction to Beyond the Steel Sky, and we were able to actually work in a slightly different way because the way the characters appeared in the game had been designed to look like a comic book, so it was a question of retrofitting the comic book to the way things appeared in the game, rather than with the original where we only had blocky sprites and really quite crudely drawn backgrounds, and we did a much enhanced version for the comic book. Here we were working on at a very high level anyway. And we also knew that there had been advances in comic books in the time since we did the first game. A company called Madefire had perfected a range of motion comics and motion books. And I had many friends there, and we decided that we would do an animated version of a comic book to introduce the game, and a print version as well, so that you got some sort of solid object to keep as well. And we were also able to include speech in the motion comic version of it. And I was greatly helped, as I have been throughout these two games, by a friend of mine called Angus Mackay, who's a wonderful artist, cover designer, colorist, and he worked with my rough drafts and outline drawings for the comic book and added color and atmosphere to it, and really enhanced it as he always has done. And he was also included in the jolly that we had a few years ago for the first game, where we went to Castle Howard and had a wonderful meal, and it was really great to get the team together. And I'm hoping that when circumstances permit, we'll all be able to get together and celebrate this game.
The girl was holding a device to the lifeless hand.
Hey, excuse me.
Who the hell are you?
I'm searching for a vehicle that...
Ah, no! Damn birds!
Wait, I just...
Whatever that device was, the bird had it now. A corpse lay propped against a rock. I gang birds were eyeing up the corpse hungrily. There were few things that would scare gangs, and a crowbar was not one of them. I would need to find another solution. No way I was going to get between those birds and their feast. I needed to check out that body. It was the only clue I had. I needed to check out that body. It was the only clue I had. The gang birds were eyeing up the corpse hungrily. The girl had been doing something to the guy's hand. I wondered what. He'd clearly been dead for days. The logo. I'd seen it before. On the androids that had taken Milo. The girl was my only lead. I had to follow her. Union City. I was back. Over the years, I'd heard rumors of how the city had thrived since I'd left Joey in charge. I was finally going to see for myself.
Huh? Halt!
Welcome, unregistered Gaplander.
Well, hi. And you are?
Community Welfare Droid 2CU at your service. To commence your Union City registration, please make your way to the immigration terminal.
That's okay, I'm not here to register. I'm looking for...
If you're looking for the immigration terminal, it's right over there. Thank you.
So how do I register?
Easy. Just go to the immigration terminal and you'll get a U-chip for your temporary ID. The correct route is indicated by these signs.
Sounds easy.
It is. Without it, you won't be able to interact with any of the Minos devices in this area.
What's this Minos you mentioned?
Minos is the interconnected computer system that is everywhere and controls everything.
Everything? That sounds very similar to Link.
For the convenience of all citizens. And, word to the wise, no U-chip, no access to the Minos devices. Not even the vending machines. So go register.
Remind me how to register with Union City?
The immigration terminal is back there in the gardens. You want a U-chip? That's where you've got to go.
Thanks. Can you help me find a missing kid?
You want to file a missing persons report? Go register.
What exactly is a U-chip?
Don't they teach you Gaplanders anything? A U-chip stores your ID and personal data in a micro-implant. The immigration terminal is easy to find. What's keeping you? The correct route is indicated by these signs.
I'm looking for a vehicle that maybe came this way.
A vehicle? Well, this is a freight entrance. So, you're in the right place.
Right. I need to find a boy called Milo. He was...
What you need to find is the immigration terminal. It's right over there.
I'll be going now.
Pleasure.
When the animation team worked on 2CU, initially the character was more functional. Their eye as a camera lens, for example, so it didn't have an eyelid or eyebrow. After some initial animation tests, we found the droids weren't very expressive, they were too robotic. So we sent some of the droid characters, including 2CU, back to our character rigger to add more controls to afford human-like expressions. Our rigger added upper and lower covers to 2CU's lens to give animators the option of characterizing them like upper and lower eyelids, as well as other details like an independently pivoting inner lens. These allow human-like expressions, such as squinting to show suspicion, or eye-rolling in impatience, much more alive and much more engaging. Talking to 2CU is the very first dialogue that occurs in Beyond the Steel Sky, so it was worth investing in our tiniest character to ensure they made a big impression.
I guess this was the immigration terminal.
Welcome to the Union City Registration Terminal. Please place your hand below to receive your U-chip implant.
Ouch!
A U-chip had been implanted into the palm of my hand. I wasn't sure how it was going to help me. The sign was directing me towards immigration. It was a tire or modern art. I couldn't tell which.
Two of my favourite characters in the game are Pixel and Voxel. And once upon a time, there were actually 7 Gap kids who all lived near Union City beside a dump. And as the section progressed and we got a better handle on the story and the pacing and the puzzle design, it became apparent that we actually didn't need triplets, and we ended up having the twins that you see in the game now.
There was a strange smell, and it was coming from the truck. Those birds weren't going to let me anywhere near the back of the truck. The guy looked like he'd been out in the sun a bit too long. Smelled like it, too.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Are you...
Whatever you're selling, I ain't buying.
No, I'm not selling any...
A likely story. Name's Wendell. Joe Wendell.
Nice to meet you.
That remains to be seen.
Listen, you haven't seen a child come through here, have you?
Pinch something of yours?
No, he was kidnapped from a nearby village.
Oh, I see. Sorry to hear that. You're not the first I've heard talking about kids going missing in the Gap. But I've never seen any come through here. Have you asked those kids over by the playground? They've been here a lot longer than me.
What was that you said about other missing kids?
Nothing specific.
Come on, try me.
Oh, just rumors. Voices on the wind, campfire tales. One man's kidnapping is another man's wandered off and fell down an hole, says I. No kids round here. Oh, except those young bucks over yonder. Sorry I can't help.
What are you doing here?
Well, whilst Bruce's power cell remains as flat as a cowpat, not a whole lot.
So you're trying to get in the city?
Abso-bloomin' trying being the operative word.
Your truck's power cell has drained?
Aye, emptier than a politician's vows. There was a sandstorm put the bridge over yonder out of action. I was told to go park for a few hours. Turned into a few days. Trying to keep the mini case cool in this heat emptied the power cell. I wasn't stingy on the aircon, mind, or the margarita blender up in the cab. A working man needs his creature comforts. Anyway, 13.7 volts drained to naught. And they still haven't fixed that blooming bridge.
And you've been sat here ever since?
No choice, until they send someone out to juice up Bruce's power cell. Someone competent, I mean.
I take it this is your truck?
It's got my name on it, don't it?
Your name is... W?
Well, some of it.
How long have you been here?
Lost count, but the delicious aroma emanating from my mini case suggests at least 2 days.
Aren't you worried that they, might be going rancid?
Well, nothing that a healthy chlorine wash won't fix.
So, your truck is full of... mini knockwurst?
You betcha! Mini K, best in the gap. Even contains some real meat. You're welcome to take a handful. Back of the truck's open, although the doors like to play silly beggars.
Oh?
Requires a special technique. Ritual, you could call it.
Ritual?
Aye. Now listen carefully. Step 1, give the bumper a wallop. Step 2, do a little jig. Step 3, pull the door and jerk it hard.
Wallop, jig, pull. That it?
That's it, lad. And remember the order.
I'll leave you be.
I'm fine with that.
The hologram was already active.
Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Welcome to Union City. My name is Greta. It is my duty and pleasure to answer any questions you may have about Union City and the local area. How may I help you today?
A child has been kidnapped from my village.
From your village? Was the child a registered citizen of Union City?
No, his name is Milo and...
Polite apology. Minos can only concern itself with registered citizens.
I was hoping you'd be able to help.
And isn't hope a wonderful thing? In the meantime, do you have any other queries?
I'm looking for a vehicle. Has anything come through here?
No.
You haven't seen a weird vehicle with legs instead of wheels?
Polite apology. I cannot discuss the details of other visitors' vehicular movements.
But this vehicle, it kidnapped a child.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
So is Joey still running things around here?
He was, until just a few years ago.
That doesn't sound good. Hope he didn't screw things up.
Not at all, sir. Joey the Savior was a great leader. Citizen happiness reached unprecedented levels.
Good to hear it. I happen to be an old friend of his.
Oh, we're all friends of Joey, sir. Gone but not forgotten.
A child has been kidnapped from my village.
From your village? Was the child a registered citizen of Union City?
No, his name is Milo and...
Polite apology. Minos can only concern itself with registered citizens.
I was hoping you'd be able to help.
And isn't hope a wonderful thing? In the meantime, do you have any other queries?
Have a nice day.
In Union City, sir, there is no other kind of day.
He was a scruffy-looking technician.
Excuse me?
Oh, hello, visitor.
What's up with your bollard? Maybe I can help.
You?
Sure.
Hey, listen, Mr. Gaplander. It's totally cute that you want to help. But this mechanism's a teeny bit more advanced than what you're used to.
You'd be surprised. I'm pretty handy with these sorts of things.
Sorry, gotta get back to this bollard. It ain't gonna fix itself.
I called upon my extensive background in engineering.
It's working! Hey, we fixed it!
Yeah, piece of cake.
Dude, Council sure is shining in my direction today. Do you know how many times I've scanned this thing? The last scan must have done the trick. You see, I'm the diagnostician and tech expert around here. Name's Hobsworth. What can I do for you?
How are things going with Wendell's power cell?
It's in my office.
But how long until it's charged?
It's hard to say, but it's on my list.
Tell me about Joey.
Praise Joey. Not a day goes by where I don't thank him for the happiness and prosperity he brought to Union City.
Joey and I go way back. We must be talking about the same one.
Well, it depends. Our Joey was kind, benevolent, generous, firm, resolute, moral, was magnanimous, proactive, and a friend to all citizens alike. Does that sound like your Joey?
My Joey was more of a sarcastic pain in the... But he was my best friend. So what's your deal, Hobsworth?
I am a diagnostician for the Ministry of Comfort.
And what exactly does a diagnostician do?
I find problems.
And fix them?
No, I just diagnose them. Minos fixes them.
I'm looking for a vehicle that might have passed this way.
What kind of vehicle? Maybe I can help.
Well, I didn't get a good look, but I know it has 4 giant legs.
Legs? Word to the wise man. Vehicles have wheels.
Not this one. It walked on the sand. And it was, shaped like a dog.
Whoa. That doesn't sound like any vehicle I've ever heard of. And I've got more magazines under my bed than you can even imagine.
About this missing kid.
Dude, word of advice, huh? Since you're new here?
Okay.
Look, maybe kidnapping is the sort of thing you people do in the Gap. But this is Union City, man. We're a proper society.
Gotcha. Thanks. See you around, Hobsworth.
Oh, before I forget, I really appreciate your patience back there when I was fixing the bridge. Let me thank you properly. Give me your hand.
Okay.
There you go. Your kudos just got a boost.
Thanks, I think.
Keep a smile on your face.
The bridge seemed to be operated by some sort of hand scanner.
Error. Insufficient permission. Citizen ID required.
We'd initially planned that there would be another section through the waterfall, until we realised that there was already about an hour's gameplay, and that players might get frustrated if they were held back any longer from getting into the city, which is the obvious objective. So whilst the waterfall stayed, if your sense is that it is slightly incongruous, then you're absolutely right.
There was something strange about the water. And there was an unmistakable smell of ozone. Up close, I could see the water was holographically concealing an electric fence? There was an electric fence back there. I wondered if it was live. Ow! I was shocked to discover that it was. No wonder the gangs kept clear of this death trap.
Charles and I first met, it must have been late 80s or early 90s, after I'd come off the success of Watchmen, and Charles had seen this and thought I might just be the person to do some interesting world building for some new games that they were working on. Indeed, in the first instance, he was interested in actually licensing Watchmen, but of course that had long since been tied up in the contract that Alan Moore and I had with DC Comics, so it wasn't available. We weren't able to work together that first time round, but we kept in touch. You know, from the beginning we sort of hit it off with each other, and in around 1993 Charles approached me again in earnest, asking me if I'd be interested in working on a new adventure game. Revolution had just done Lure of the Temptress, which was a kind of sword and sorcery magic sort of game, which wasn't quite my cup of tea, but the sort of dystopian world that they had in mind for Beneath the Steel Sky, which is what the game eventually was called, you know, was something that suited my talents and my design taste rather well.
A metaphysical symmetry of curvature, man and machine. If that was art, I must have been missing something. It was the girl I'd seen earlier.
Excuse me? Hello?
You!
Me what?
You're the guy in the desert!
And you're the girl with the corpse.
Okay, first of all, that guy was dead long before I got there. And second of all, it's your fault Big Steve stole my date!
Lost your what? To who?
Do you realize how much potential trade you've cost me?
Honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ugh. I trade. I'm a trader. Name's Ember.
What were you doing out there in the desert with that corpse?
Mister, are you looking to trade something or what?
Trade?
Trade, you know, tech, gadgets, knickknacks from the Gap or the city. That's what I do. I collect stuff, sell stuff, trade stuff. Only, since you're interfering, let Big Steve fly off with my deet, it'll be a while before I can make proper trades again. Now, excuse me.
What's a deet?
My deet, man. DTT. Data transfer tool. Deet.
What's the deet for?
Duh, transferring data. That's what I was doing with that dead fella. Transferring his citizen ID for trading, yeah? You distracted me, and Big Steve nabbed it and flew off. Like I said, thanks.
I'm looking for a boy named Milo, who might have come through here recently.
You're looking in the wrong place. Only boys around here are Pixel and Voxel, and the only thing they're missing is a few screws.
What were you doing out there in the desert with that corpse?
I told you already, I was deeding his ID. Only now, Big Steve has my deed, and ipso facto, the ID.
Who's Big Steve?
You see all these birds all over the place? Big Steve's the purple one, with a beak full of my deet.
Tell me about this deet.
Simple. I collect IDs and I use the deet to swap them. At least I did, until Big Steve grabbed it.
Did you see a strange vehicle come through this way?
Strange? You mean like that stinky one there?
No. This one had legs.
Not seen anything like that. Maybe you didn't either, crazy guy.
I'm not crazy.
Sure you're not.
So are you digging that guy's U-chip out of his hand?
What? No! Data transfer. I told you. I cloned his ID data onto the deet for later.
What happens later?
Well, you know, maybe someone doesn't want to be found. I do swapsies.
For a price?
Yeah.
What do you trade?
Like I said, sometimes people from outside want stuff from the inside. Sometimes people from inside want stuff from the outside. Second one doesn't happen very often since inside's got, like, everything and free. But it happens.
Suppose a guy from outside wanted to get inside.
Ah, my most popular item. Until Big Steve took my deet, that is.
That's all for now. Thanks.
Anytime. Oh, wait, no. Come back if you want to talk business.
For someone with a business interest in dead bodies, she seemed pretty normal.
In the original game, Foster was given his name by a shaman because the villagers fostered him when he was orphaned. When Dave Gibbons drew the comic in the early 90s, we thought that it would be fun to borrow the name, and included the label of a beer can resembling a certain Australian lager. We had wanted to offer discreet references to Australia without it being too obvious which country the game was set in. Not discreet enough, so it seemed. The beer company contacted us, pointing out that we were breaching their intellectual property, and insisted that we remove the image. We did, although we were tempted to point out that they were passing on a free promotional opportunity.
To bring our dialogue to life, we have voice performance, camera angle, body animation, lip sync animation, and facial expression. Each of these are assets applied to an individual line of the script. The first encounter you have with Ember was the first dialogue we got fully working in the game, the first one we saw fully brought to life with all these layered elements. We wanted to use an algorithmically generated lip sync technology because then we could get animations at the right balance between cartoony and realistic to complement the art style. This meant we didn't need an army of animators to animate lip sync by hand for thousands of lines. It also lets us offer this level of realism in the lips to our French and German language players too. One of my responsibilities was designing the controls for making facial expressions. These needed to be easy to use and also flexible for making expressions unique without interfering with lip sync animation. Setting everything up, hoping you've made good decisions, and then seeing the system working fully the first time, with Foster and Ember performing like thinking, feeling personalities, was a wonderful milestone during development.
A makeshift workbench had been set up. Its structural integrity seemed over-reliant on some old, deflated tires.
Hey, kid.
Hey, weird guy.
My name's not Weird Guy.
I'm Pixel. It's easy to remember because it rhymes with pickle.
So it does. I'm Foster.
I'll remember that easy because your name rhymes with fossil and you're old.
Thanks, kid. What's wrong with the roundabout?
It sucks. Stupid Mr. Hobbsworth put a chain on it. He said it was for safety, then he dropped the chain on his foot.
What's your story, Pixel?
Well, I'm 8 years old, and my birthday is in only 64 days. I'm really good at math, and I can even lift my sister. And she's super fat.
Very comprehensive.
Yep. Anything I can help you with today?
Did a vehicle come through here recently?
Maybe. How recently is recently?
Like 2 nights ago?
Oh, then definitely no. But wait, 2 nights ago? My brother, Vauxhall, he saw this giant monster.
What kind of monster?
Like a totally huge, but not real one.
Huge, but not real?
I mean, Vauxhall says it's totally huge, and Ember says it's not real.
Well, which is it?
I don't know what to believe.
Who's Vauxhall?
My brother, remember?
Can I talk to him?
I guess, but he's not as friendly or helpful as me. Real question is, will he talk to you? He's been hiding for like 2 days now. Won't speak to nobody but me.
Can you tell me where to find him? Maybe he'll talk to me.
Nuh-uh. You gotta earn that information. I don't know if I can trust you right now.
I'm looking for a boy about your age named Milo, who may have come through here.
You're asking the right guy. I remember every face that's come through here since I was a little kid.
Yeah? How many's that?
Like, at least 12. How recently are we talking?
Sometime over the past couple of nights.
Oh, didn't know. Haven't seen no kids.
See you around.
Call it if you need anything.
One of the things we really wanted to capture in the music was the range of different tones you would get from interacting with the various characters throughout the story. So the music could, on the one hand, sit underneath and complement the dialogue, but also punctuate some of the key narrative points, and sometimes just add to the general feel of a moment. The City Walls area is a great example of where there are loads of these light, playful, and even ludicrous moments, but always with a slightly sinister undertone that relates back to Milo's abduction. Charles has suggested that Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf would be a good musical reference point for Pixel and Voxel's characters, so I've really tried to incorporate that style of orchestration in moments such as this, where Foster pushes Pixel on the roundabout, writing this sort of characterful bassoon solo over plucked strings, and then under Foster's dialogue with Pixel, the bassoon and its sibling the cor anglais imitate the gameplay by playing more conversationally with the string section.
Writing and designing a puzzle around children was always going to be interesting, especially ones with such extensive dialogue trees as Pixel and Voxel. Kevin, our writer, had the particular challenge of writing jokes and quips that came from the mind of a child but made comedic sense to an adult. Beyond the writing, the voice acting work is also extremely crucial in delivering that sentiment. Rosie, who did an amazing job of playing a number of characters in the game, had the challenge of playing both Pixel and Voxel. What I found particularly impressive about all of this was when we were directing these lines in the studio, Rosie would seemingly respond and contribute to feedback as an 8-year-old child, without the temper tantrums, of course.
A sturdy chain tethered the roundabout to the ground. A sturdy chain tethered the roundabout to the ground.
Push me!
Hey, me again.
How can I help?
What's wrong with Voxel?
Like, why is he hiding?
Yeah.
I told you, man. He thinks he saw a monster.
Will you tell me where your brother is hiding? Maybe we can help each other out with our monster problems.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. You done me a favor. He's hiding in a bench in the garden. I told him I wouldn't tell no one, but you seem okay.
See you around.
Okay, I'll go.
Since we decided to use Unreal Engine for the game in 2016, it was immediately clear that we needed to develop our own solution for stylized rendering. During those very early research stages, we also needed something that allowed us to iterate several combinations of visual features easily. I started to implement some line rendering algorithms and continued to add features that we could switch on and off on the fly. At some point, I structured those elements into a single big shader that would turn the hyper-realistic rendering of Unreal Engine into something different, without having to go back and rework the graphic assets. That's how Toontoy, our non-photorealistic rendering tool, was born.
A sand pit. In the desert. The irony sure wasn't lost on me. Voxel was hiding out in the makeshift den. Hello, Voxel.
Shh. What?
My name is Foster. I've just got a few questions. I wanted to ask you if you've seen any monsters.
How do you know about the monster?
Your brother, Pixel.
Stupid Pixel. He's so stupid. Go away.
Me again. Can we talk some more?
Hi.
Voxel, about this monster. Truth is, I'm a monster hunter. I've been tracking a monster across the desert for days. I think he came through here, and I'm looking for someone brave enough to see it and live to tell the tale.
I saw it.
Can you describe it?
It was big and beastie, and it eats children, and I could hear the screaming, and it was fast and dark and silent.
Slow down, one thing at a time.
It was big, like a giant dog.
A giant dog? That sounds like what I'm after. Did you see any children?
No, but I heard them. I heard kids crying inside its tummy.
And where did it go?
It sneaked off into the city. After that, I got in here. No way am I gonna let it get me.
You've been in here for 2 days?
Still alive, aren't I?
Did you say you heard kids crying from inside the dog?
I think so. Sure sounded like that.
This giant dog, where did you see it?
I was playing buzzsaws and dynamos with Pixel. I won, and he was really cross. Then, in the night, I woke up. It was totally dark. I'd heard this sound, like feet padding along the road, big feet. And then I heard screams, children's screams. I ran over here and hid in my fort.
And you've been in here ever since?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Any ideas on getting into the city?
People go in and out of the main gate. Are you gonna go in there and kill it?
Sure am. That's what monster hunters do best. Then I'm gonna bring Milo and the other children back out.
You will? Oh, you better take this.
Thanks. What is it?
A firecracker. I was gonna use it to kill the monster, but you can have it.
What do I do with this firecracker?
I don't know. Throw it at the monster. But cover your ears.
Bye.
Hey, you got anything to eat? I'm kinda hungry.
I could keep an eye out.
Mr. Hopsworth sometimes lets me have some of his lunch. He doesn't usually know that, though.
Ah, understood. Voxel's giant dog sounded a lot like the stalker that had taken Milo. Now I was sure that the stalker had entered the city. There had to be a way in through the main gates.
How can I help?
Excuse me.
Greetings, registered Gaplander.
Say that again, would you?
A registered Gaplander.
Thanks. Wasn't so hard, was it? How do I get into the city?
Only citizens have access to the city.
Okay, right. So, how do I become a citizen?
You have already started the immigration procedure. Please be patient whilst your application is processed.
What do you do to CU?
Community Welfare Droid 2CU at your service. I supervise this area and guide prospective citizens through the registration process.
Well, you're clearly excellent at your job.
Why, thank you. I'm the latest model, you know.
How long does it take to become a citizen?
That data is not available at this time.
I better get comfortable. Bye for now.
Was great meeting you.
We needed to make the game accessible to people who hadn't played the original, so we added a statue here of Joey, which the player may or may not choose to interact with. Since Joey's story is at the very heart of this game, we needed to introduce him and his past, but ideally from a different perspective to what fans of the original already know. Straight off, we needed to convey that Joey was left in charge all those years ago and that he's revered. He was told by his best friend Foster to deliver a prime objective, which is ensure that the citizens of Union City are happy. The game world is the result of what happens when Joey, a benign AI, who really does have the best intentions, is left in charge with these seemingly simple instructions.
Citizen, welcome to the abridged audio-visual Union City fact file. The Union City walls were forged in 1994 by a small team of resilient workers. A common misconception is that the team was formed of Australian citizens. This couldn't be further from the truth. The city wall was constructed using British steel imported, along with workers, from Hull in the United Kingdom. Many of the citizens of Union City can trace their ancestry back to that small and very dedicated group of immigrants. This concludes your requested fact. Please return for an all-new Union City fact. And remember, be vigilant. This message is sponsored by the Ministry of Comfort.
Enjoy this little piece of happiness, courtesy of Minos.
The machine ejected a garish, beclowned can of soda labeled Spankles.
You are currently at your maximum allotted Spankles allowance. Have a nice day.
Error. Insufficient permission. Citizen ID required.
Hi.
Hi again.
Any ideas on getting into the city?
You got one of them U-chips?
Yeah, just got one from the terminal over there.
That one's no good. They've given you a cheap temp ID so the droids don't run you over. Bridge only opens for citizens. Soz, mate.
I got a U-chip with a temporary ID from over there.
Good for you. They're free.
Can I get into the city with it?
No. And yes. And no.
Break that down for me.
No, a temp ID is so they can keep track of you around here. Won't get you inside. Yes, I could deep that corpse's ID onto a U-chip. And no, because as you well know, my deet's been eaten.
How do we get another deet?
Ugh, can't. That's the only one. If you were planning to get into the city today, tough.
I spoke to Voxel about his monster problem.
You what?
I think his monster is the vehicle I've been tracking.
Oh, good for you. So you told him the monster was real? Won't be seeing him anytime soon. Nice one, Super Dad.
Any idea whose body that was out there?
Dunno. Just some guy from the city.
How do you know?
'Cause I got the citizen's ID from his U-chip. Duh.
Thanks, Ember.
Peace.
Ember's deed had a citizen ID stored on it. The smell of the Mini K was highly pungent. Right. Hit the bumper. These were not my best moves. Me again. Can we talk some more?
Hi.
What's this about a sandwich?
Mr. Hopsworth always brings sandwiches from the city. They're so good. He's usually got one or two in his hut.
Should I ask Mr. Hobsworth if he wants to share?
No, don't do that. He likes sharing best when he doesn't know about it.
See you around.
Authorized citizen ID required.
I'd learned to think twice before just slapping my hand on something.
As well as complementing Dave Gibbons's comic book style, the use of Toontoy also has a gameplay benefit. Toon-shaded backgrounds make it easier for the player to scan and recognize objects in the game world that are relevant to solving the section's puzzles, which make it a more satisfying, intuitive gameplay experience.
Hey, Wendell.
Managed to get those doors open all right?
Just about.
Did you, do the jig?
Sure did. You said it was essential.
That's right. Although, here's a funny thing. My wife never does the jig back at the farm. But it always seems to open for her. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Want one of these mini Ks?
Oh, better not.
I thought you loved them.
Oh, of course I do. They're delicious.
But?
Don't get high on your own supply.
Sorry?
No scoffage on thine own sausage.
Oh, I see. Suit yourself. Any ideas on how I can get into the city?
Aye, that's easy. You just need one small thing.
Great. What?
A truck.
What? Like yours?
No, not like mine. You want one that actually moves under its own power. That being said, you won't even get across the bridge without an authorized ID. Citizen's ID gets you all the way into the city, privileges and all. I've got ID, all right, but my power cell's empty. Long story short, I could drive in. If I could drive in.
Mind if I take a look at the power cell? I'm pretty handy with this sort of stuff.
Hobbsworth has it. Told me he'd have it charged in a jiffy.
Great. How long ago was that?
About 1 million jiffies ago. My guess is it's either gathering dust or it's being ground to dust.
Be seeing you.
Aye.
Excuse me?
Well, hey there, stranger. How's your day going so far?
Well,
Great, I'll bet. Anything old Hobbsworth can do for you? By the way, just so you know, I'm on the clock.
Yes, of course, no problem. Do you need technical expertise to be a diagnostician?
Of course! You need to know exactly where to point your scanner. See, I come to work, and I pick up my scanner here, and then I report the problem. My interventions are key to the smooth running of Union City.
Any updates on Wendell's power cell?
Not yet, but I'll get onto it soon.
This may sound like a stupid question, but how do I actually get into the city?
Well, first thing would be to head over to the city gates.
Yes?
If you got a valid ID, and just scan your U-chip, and the bridge will open.
Valid for what?
Now, that is the stupid question. You need a vehicle to get through the big doors there. If you have transport clearance, like that old fella with the smelly truck, you just drive up, scan your ID, and roll right onto the elevator down to the cargo bay.
See you around, Hobbsworth.
Keep a smile on your face.
How can I help?
The bird's beak looked especially vicious. Come on, big fella. Hi.
Hi again.
Guess what I found?
A lot of nerve coming back here.
Nope. This.
What? My deed? I'll have that.
Sure, but how about I give you the deed in exchange for the citizen ID that's on it?
The deed for the ID? But
You wouldn't have it back if it weren't for me.
it wouldn't have been stolen if it weren't for you.
So we're even.
I suppose that's sort of fair.
Excellent. When do we start?
Have you got a U-chip?
Yes. My hand is still stinging.
Right then, let's get this over with, yeah? Pass me back my deed, Follow me over to my workbench.
Hey, Ember.
You ready to do this?
I'm not entirely sure what this is.
You want that citizen's ID, right?
Yeah. What do I need to do?
Cool. Just place your hand flat on the U-chip scanner. Over here on my workbench.
Like this?
Yeah, good enough. Let me just line up the laser. Oi, keep your hand still or you'll lose it.
Is this gonna hurt?
No more than getting the chip installed in the first place. Right, just transferring the ID now. You may feel a slight pinch. What was that?
That wasn't supposed to happen?
There it is again. Must be... nothing. It must be nothing. Looks like his name was Graham. A fine, upstanding citizen.
Graham. Got it.
Good luck, Citizen Graham.
At last I had a citizen ID. I hoped that this was going to be my key to getting into the city.
Error. U-chip firmware outdated. Authority for vehicular access denied.
The firmware on my U-chip was out of date. I realized that I'd been sold a dud by Ember.
Hello?
What is it? I'm talking to Vox here.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go on.
There's a problem with this ID you gave me. I tried the bridge, but it wouldn't let me through. Apparently my U-chip is out of date.
Oh, right. They had to replace the hand scanner recently. Must be running on new firmware. Much newer than the crappy U-chips from that old terminal.
What happened to the old hand scanner?
No idea. Why would you even ask that? I didn't take it. Shut up.
Either way, the ID you gave me doesn't work.
Hey, listen, guy. The ID is tip-top. It's your U-chip that's the problem. It's old. Like you.
Well, have you got any newer replacements?
Nuh-uh. That U-chip is in you now. It stays there. You'll need to run an update, but my guess is you can only do that inside the city.
And without the update, I can't get across the bridge. I appear to be at an impasse.
Yikes. Well, that ain't good. Could maybe hack the bridge, but... Nah. Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Did you say hack?
Okay. So you know how everything here runs on Minos?
Minos? Surely that's not based off the old Link system.
That's right. When they upgraded, they dumped the old Link tech. Smart shoes, smart toasters, smart light bulbs, smart fridges. Minos makes everything smart. Except the humans. Anyway, you know how Hobbsworth is always pointing his scanner at stuff?
Yeah?
That's his Minos scanner. Minos scanners let guys without any smarts figure out how machines work. Old Hobbsworth has all kinds of safeguards so he can't mess things up more when they break. But with a few modifications...
Can you do more than just diagnose Minos machines?
Much more.
Could I borrow your hacker? Is that a no? Could I maybe trade you something for your hacker?
Honestly, probably not.
Okay, so if you won't trade me for that hacker, could you make me one?
For a price, and a whole lot of inconvenience.
What do you mean?
For starters, you need one of Hobbsworth's Minos scanners. You get me one of them, and then we can talk about next steps.
See you around.
Later, man.
Graham's ID was finally starting to get me places. The power cell was completely wrecked. I decided to borrow the scanner, indefinitely. The power cell was completely wrecked. The console seemed specialized. Me again. Can we talk some more?
Hi.
Food delivery for Mr. Voxel.
Oh, yes. One of Hobbsworth's city singers. Do you want my crusts?
You eat them. Warriors need their strength. Thanks, Voxel. Hello?
What now?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go on.
Guess what I've got?
Go on, surprise me.
A Minos scanner. Can you hack it into a hacker for me?
Maybe. Let's see what else you've got in that bag that might be worth my time, trouble, and effort.
This scanner?
That just turns into the hacker. What are you giving me to do the actual job, pal?
Oh, right. I don't know if you can use this, but how about this finger?
Okay, creepy. Let me take a look. Whoa. Okay, this is some serious kit. The micro actuators alone are worth a bundle.
So it's a deal then. You'll hack this scanner, and the finger is yours.
You betcha. Pleasure doing business with you. Meet me at my workbench when you're ready. All right, one Ember grade Minos hacker.
Thanks. So how do I use this thing?
You activate scan mode, obviously.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, well, that's the easy part. Now follow me. This is how I find hidden systems. They're all over the place. There you go. One just popped into range.
Okay, what do I do now?
Use the big button at the top. Duh. Right, so this here is a diagnostic view of Minos.
Looks like it runs the vending machine.
No kidding. See those task nodes? The darker ones?
Yeah?
Well, unlike Hobbsy's little vanilla scanner, my hacker can swap them round. So let's see how smart you are. Want to give me an infinite supply of spankles?
Knackwurst sausages. Knock yourself out with a bite whilst they're fresh.
Thanks, bro. You trying to get me arrested? You did it! You're smarter than you look. Okay, apply the hack and you'll be good to go. All right, mate. Figure the rest out yourself. Oh, and try not to do anything too stupid, eh?
Enjoy this little piece of happiness, courtesy of Minos.
Warning. This entrance is strictly vehicle only. All pedestrians...
Those guns look like they meant business. It was a grumpy-looking maintenance droid. Excuse me?
Citizen Graham, you are not authorized for this area.
I was going to have to get used to being called Graham. I just wanted to ask some questions.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm a 4YR droid. And 4YR droids are programmed to ask questions, not answer them.
Have you seen a boy called Milo?
Gaplander or citizen?
Gaplander.
All Gaplanders look the same to me.
He's quite young and about this tall?
Repeat, all Gaplanders look the same to me.
2CU looks a little newer than you.
That's right. Supposed to be more socially orientated. I'd like to see her try and fix a bent shaft.
Those guns sure look dangerous.
Ah, they're totally safe. Long as you follow Union City protocol.
And if you don't?
Death by disintegration.
Ouch. You're not like that other droid across the bridge.
You mean 2CU? That little jumped up tin pot voice box. That's all she is.
And you're a better model?
Better, older, tougher, more reliable. Underneath this steel skin lies the beating heart of a 13.7 volt power cell.
Wow.
Old tech, you see. Tested. Solid. Whereas that flying volleyball over there runs on solar. Sun goes down, she's useless. But me, I can go all night long.
You mentioned a power cell?
Correct. I run off a 13.7 volt power cell.
Really? Would it fit in a truck?
It would fit in older models.
Like that truck over there?
Might do. Looks old enough.
What's beyond that door?
A corridor.
And after that?
The city.
Okay. And how do I get in?
You don't.
Why not?
Because you are a pedestrian, and doors do not open for pedestrians.
But they open for vehicles?
Yes, because it is a vehicle entrance.
That's all for now.
Good.